The United Kingdom, often referred to as Britain or the UK, is a country rich in history, from the days of ancient tribes to its imperial glory and to its modern-day global influence. Today, we explore the full history of the United Kingdom, tracing its roots from early civilizations to becoming a world power. Join us as we journey through time and uncover the key events, people, and turning points that shaped this powerful nation. Chapter 1. Ancient Britain. Prehistoric and Roman Britain. The history of the British Isles goes back thousands of years, starting with prehistoric tribes. Prehistoric Britain. The earliest evidence of human life in Britain dates back around 800,000 years, with Stone Age tools found at sites like Boxgrove during the Bronze and Iron Ages. Britain was home to many tribes and early settlements. Roman Britain, 43 to 410 AD. In 43 AD, the Romans, led by Emperor Claudius, invaded Britain, establishing it as part of the Roman Empire. They built roads, Hadrian's Wall, and towns like Londinium, modern London. Roman rule brought significant infrastructure, but after the fall of the Roman Empire, Britain was left vulnerable to invasions. Chapter 2. The Anglo-Saxons, Vikings, and Norman conquest. After the Romans withdrew, several groups invaded and settled in Britain. Anglo-Saxons, 5th–11th century. Following Roman withdrawal, the Anglo-Saxons from modern-day Germany, Denmark, and the Netherlands began settling in Britain, establishing kingdoms such as Wessex and Mercia. By the 9th century, the Anglo-Saxons had created a relatively stable society. Viking invasions, 8th–11th century. Starting in the late 8th century, Viking raids began. Norse warriors invaded and settled in parts of Britain, most notably in York and northern England, forming the Danelaw. Norman conquest, 1066. The most significant turning point in British history occurred in 1066, when William the Conqueror, Duke of Normandy, invaded England. After the victory at the Battle of Hastings, the Normans became the rulers of England, and the feudal system was introduced. This brought significant social, cultural, and legal changes to Britain. Chapter 3. The Plantagenets and the Wars of the Roses. Following the Norman conquest, England became a powerful kingdom under the Plantagenet dynasty. The Plantagenets, 12th–15th century. The Plantagenet kings ruled England for over 300 years. During this time, England saw both expansion and internal conflict. One of the most important events was the signing of the Magna Carta in 1215, which limited the king's power and laid the foundation for constitutional law. The 100 Years' War, 1337 to 1453. England fought with France in a series of wars for control over French territories. This conflict greatly shaped both nations, culminating in the Battle of Agincourt, 1415, where English forces achieved a famous victory. The Wars of the Roses, 1455 to 1485, a series of civil wars between the rival houses of Lancaster Red and York White for the English throne. The conflict ended with the victory of Henry Tudor, Henry VII, at the Battle of Bosworth in 1485, marking the beginning of the Tudor dynasty. Chapter 4. The Tudor Dynasty. Henry VIII and Elizabeth I. The Tudor dynasty played a crucial role in shaping the modern United Kingdom, especially in terms of religion and foreign policy. Henry VIII, 1509 to 1547. Henry VIII is perhaps most famous for his 6 marriages and his split with the Catholic Church, leading to the establishment of the Church of England, 1534. This marked the beginning of the English Reformation, a major shift in European religious history. Elizabeth I, 1558 to 1603, the daughter of Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn. Elizabeth I is often regarded as one of the greatest monarchs in British history. Her reign marked a period of cultural flourishing in the Elizabethan era. The defeat of the Spanish Armada in 1588 and the expansion of English influence overseas. Chapter 5. The English Civil War and the rise of Parliament in the 17th century. England underwent significant political change. The English Civil War 1642 to 1651. Tensions between King Charles I and Parliament led to civil war. The conflict was rooted in issues like taxes, the role of monarchy, and religious disputes. The war ended in the defeat of the Royalists and the execution of Charles I in 1649, followed by the establishment of the Commonwealth under Oliver Cromwell. Restoration of the monarchy, 1660. After Cromwell's death, the monarchy was restored with Charles II, marking the beginning of the Restoration period. The Glorious Revolution of 1688 further shifted power towards Parliament with the overthrow of James II and the ascension of William III and Mary II, who agreed to the Bill of Rights, which limited the power of the monarchy. Chapter 6. The British Empire and Global Dominance. The 18th and 19th centuries were marked by the rise of Britain as the foremost global power. The Industrial Revolution, 18th-19th century. Britain was the birthplace of the Industrial Revolution, which transformed the economy with advancements in machinery, transportation, and manufacturing. Cities grew rapidly, and Britain became the world's leading industrial and colonial power. The British Empire. At its height, the British Empire controlled vast territories around the globe, including India, much of Africa, and large parts of the Caribbean. The phrase "the sun that sets on the British Empire" reflected the empire's global reach. The Victorian era, 1837 to 1901. Under Queen Victoria, Britain became a global leader in culture, science, and politics. The era also saw significant social changes, including improvements in health, education, and the expansion of the franchise. Chapter 7. The World Wars and the Decline of the British Empire. The two world wars in the 20th century significantly impacted the United Kingdom. World War I, 1914 to 1918. The UK played a central role in the Allied powers during the war. The aftermath of WWR saw major political and social changes in Britain, including the loss of many colonies and an economic decline. World War II, 1939 to 1945. The UK, under Winston Churchill, was one of the leading countries in the fight against Nazi Germany. The war had a devastating impact on Britain, leading to significant loss of life and the destruction of infrastructure. However, the war also marked the beginning of the decolonization process, as Britain lost many of its overseas territories. End of the empire. After World War II, the British Empire began to crumble. The Indian Independence Act 1947 marked the end of British rule in India, followed by the loss of other colonies across Africa and Asia. Chapter 8. Modern United Kingdom. A global influence today. After World War II, the UK became a modern, parliamentary democracy. Post-war Britain. After World War II, the UK underwent a major rebuilding process and established the National Health Service, NHS, in 1948, providing healthcare to all citizens. European Union and Brexit. In 1973, the UK joined the European Economic Community, EEC, which later became the European Union, EU. However, in 2016, a referendum saw the UK vote to leave the EU in a decision known as Brexit. The UK officially left the EU in 2020, marking a significant shift in its political and economic relations. The United Kingdom today. The UK continues to play a significant role in international politics, culture, and economics, despite facing challenges, including debates over its future relationship with the European Union. The UK remains a major player on the global stage. Conclusion: from its ancient beginnings to becoming the world's most powerful empire, and now as a modern global nation, the history of the United Kingdom is one of transformation, struggle, and resilience. The UK's journey through centuries of change has left a lasting legacy, not just on its own citizens, but on the entire world. Its rich history an evolving role on the global stage make it a fascinating story of perseverance and progress. Subscribe our channel at Nations Unfolded.